thank you so much for everyone for being here, and I want to thank the Sunshine Rosie for inviting me, telling me about the Society of Economic Botany, and the committee for inviting me also to come and speak and share the work that I've done. So I'll be talking about Neqa elicarvigmun, Fish to School. This is a program that we did as part of a larger research study in Western Alaska, and I am a research assistant at the Center of Alaska Native Health Research at the University of Alaska Fairbanks. So I'll be talking about the process of developing the program, and if anyone is interested in learning more about the bigger research study that we did, you can come talk to me afterwards. So the premise behind this program is that we wanted to work with communities on improving diet quality. And so as a background, with indigenous communities, there's a lot of public health challenges that they're facing. And among those challenges is that rapid changes in lifestyle and diet are changing what people are eating. And this is known as the nutrition transition. So transitioning from a traditional food system to more market foods. So when I talk about traditional foods, we're talking about local, culturally significant foods. Oftentimes, these are foods that are harvested, hunted, fished, and gathered from the local natural environment. And they're really vital for maintaining diet quality, but also they're protective against chronic diseases, but they're also important because they form part of people's identities. They're really an integral part of the local culture, local activities, and also the economy. And a lot of times these traditional foods are being replaced in the diet with market foods that are imported from outside the community. So in a lot of indigenous communities that are very remote, the foods that are imported tend to be very limited. They're highly processed because they need to be shelf stable to be brought in, and they're of very low nutritional quality. So as more market foods are replacing the nutrient-dense traditional foods, it opens up possibility for increased chronic disease. So again, the transition from traditional foods to market foods is happening because of a number of different reasons. A lot of these are environmental, social, economic, political, and cultural changes, and they're weakening these traditional and local food systems, which again, the concern is that it will lead to a rise in non-communicable chronic disease. So the idea is to have food system intervention or nutrition intervention that will interrupt this process. So strengthening these traditional food systems, there's not a lot that we can do about these changes because they're happening just on they're happening, and so the idea is to really strengthen what is working and what foods are continuing to be found. So just a little bit about the place where I work. This project took place in the Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta. It's an area in southwest Alaska, and it's about the size of Oregon. This is the home of the Yupik Eskimo people, and it's the size of Oregon, and there are about over 50 villages in this area. As you can see, it's a very different ecosystem from the one that we're in right now. If you can imagine, it's a very, very flat place. It's at the delta of two major river systems, and so the environment is largely tundra, mud flats, and just a very, very marshy environment. But this is a place that people continue to live in because it's just absolutely rich with wild food resources, and including fish, marine mammals. You can see there's people here are whale hunting for whale, marine mammals like seal. There's a lot of wild birds during the bird migrations in the spring and fall. It's a very important part of what people are eating. Later on in the summer, there's a lot of berry harvesting that goes on. And all of these subsistence activities are very important to the traditional food system. And and people continue to do this, these activities for their diet. And one thing that I wanted to say about the fish is that, so this is salmon that's drying in smokehouse. There's 5 species of salmon that are harvested in this area, but not just salmon, there's a lot of other species of whitefish as well that are harvested throughout the year. So there's ice fishing as well in winter. So in addition to the traditional foods that people eat, there's also there's grocery stores in a lot of these communities. And as you can see, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of these market foods that are available are very limited in variety. It's not like grocery stores that you see in urban areas. A lot of them are packaged foods. There's a lot of highly processed foods. And when there are produce that do make it in, it goes quite quickly. And another thing about the communities that we are working in is that most of the school districts qualify for free meals, free and reduced lunches, and a lot of times the school children eat both breakfast and lunch at their school. And these foods are brought in from the lower 48. They're not sourced locally, and there's definitely no traditional foods in the school lunches. And so a lot of people were concerned that not only is there our children eating fewer traditional foods, but it's also not being provided in their school lunches. So the idea behind the program that we were designing came about because of investigators at Canner had talked to people in the communities about their concerns, and one thing that they were interested in was having more traditional foods in the school lunches. And because of the regulations, salmon was chosen as being the food that we were going to be promoting as part of this project. And so the Fish to School program is based on farm to school, which has been done in the lower 48 here. And so we were going to adapt this program for use in UFIT communities. So the basic premise behind Farm to School that Fish to School is modeled on is number one, providing local foods in the school lunches, so increasing access to these foods. The second component is to have lessons in the classroom, so promoting the foods in the classroom, having the young people learn more about these foods. And the third is celebrating these foods through community events. And so this was the basic framework that we had to start with. But the question is, how do you design a program that was created in the lower 48 for a very different ecosystem and a very different socio-cultural context? And so what we wanted to do is, many of us know about, the science has shown the nutritional benefits of salmon and other local foods in terms of nutrition. But in terms of people's lived experiences, they might not think in those terms of, if I eat this food, it'll be so nutritious for me. There are other ways of conceptualizing how foods contribute to well-being, and those include social, psychological, economic, ecological, cultural, and spiritual contributions to well-being. So we wanted to promote the nutritional benefits of salmon, but we also wanted to promote the greater benefits of salmon in the food system and in these communities. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to take a strength-based approach and conduct some formative research in order to better design the program for the communities that we were working in. So in order to do that, we wanted to better understand, okay, salmon is a very nutritious food. How else does it contribute to well-being in these communities? So understanding the relationship between food and well-being in order to make it more relevant and more relevant to people and more reflective of their values around food. So the objectives for the research was to, number one, understand local perceptions, the connection between salmon and well-being, and number two, develop a process for incorporating local perceptions into the intervention design. Thank you. So what we did was we went out to the community that we're working in and we talked to people. We did some focus groups and we asked, how does salmon promote a good life? How does it contribute to well-being? And these were 9 themes that came out of the discussions and out of the conversations. So salmon really contributed to the family, is a very important value, and contributed to values of pride, hard work. Salmon brought people together, connected people as something that people shared. It was a major source of local livelihoods because people fished commercially to sell to the local processor as part of their income, and also they fished for themselves. And Neqa is another concept that we discussed. So what we did was we took these 9 themes and we plugged it into our framework and we tried to design based on these themes. And so what we did was we ended up working with the local processor to design recipes for serving those salmon in the school lunches. A lot of the recipes that we started out with weren't local recipes, so we needed to redesign those. We also redesigned our lessons with the community. Part of it was a board game designed based on people's, based on the community, life in the community. We also held a lot of community activities, and a lot of these themes, what we did was we worked with the community on designing things. It wasn't just me in an office trying to say, okay, let's put these themes in. No, we worked with the community step by step, saying, is this what you want? How can we make this more reflective of your values? And so I can definitely talk more about this. We talked for a long time, but for now, I will just conclude thanking my advisor, Andrea Berseman, and our partners in the community for funding this project. Questions?
Yeah, take 1 or 2 short questions. I think you were first.
No, actually,
He was first? Okay, sorry.
To what extent would the traditional diet have included carbohydrate?
So in this program, we were mainly promoting salmon, but in the traditional diet, it is very heavily protein-based. So we didn't touch on carbohydrates too much, but there were a lot of other sources, plant sources of in their diet. Mm-hmm.
Okay, your turn.
yes, thank you very much. I'm just wondering what indicators or how are you going to quantitatively measure the success of your program?
So what we did, as part of the research study, this was kind of the design part. We measured we did dietary recalls before the project started, during and after. And we also had a survey, a knowledge, attitudes, and behavior survey to see